This is a kind of video that hopefully will never be made and posted on my channel ever again, because I do want this channel to really be focused on outdoor stuff and fishing. But there's something that occurred recently that is extremely relevant to being a small YouTuber and to being someone who uploads user-generated content. So anybody who is a YouTube user and the responsibility that we have. And kind of want to just touch upon two things in this real brief chat. Now, if you're not familiar, there's a YouTuber by the name of Logan Paul who has 15 million subscribers, who went into a Japanese forest a couple of days ago with a group of friends with his video camera and filmed something that was probably the most disturbing thing to stumble across, and that was someone who had recently committed suicide. A gentleman was hanging from a tree, and instead of putting the camera down and calling for help, this guy Logan Paul videoed the whole thing and made light of it too, kind of was making jokes about it. And this is a real thing. This wasn't a stunt or a hoax or anything like that. And he posted the video. And there's a lot of steps that go to taking a video. You know, you shoot the video, you edit, you upload it to your computer, then you edit that video in your video editor, then you review the video, and then you create a thumbnail, and then you upload it to YouTube, and then you tag it, you title it, and you put a description in. And the disturbing thing about all of this is that this gentleman, this young man, I wouldn't call him a gentleman, but this young man named Logan Paul did all these things, and not in one part did his conscience say, hey, I shouldn't be doing this. And so it really bothers me that the video got 6.5 million views, that YouTube didn't take it down. The user, Logan Paul, took it down. And he claims that he didn't monetize the video, which is, really doesn't matter, but it really pisses me off. And I'm going to talk about being a small YouTuber now, because if you're not part of the YouTube community in any capacity, like I belong primarily to the fishing YouTube community, we all watch each other's videos, and there's good interaction on that aspect. But a couple of months ago, like earlier in 2017, I should say, there was something called Adpocalypse, where fishing channels and hunting channels, not specifically, but were highly targeted, were having their ad monetization pulled because of questionable content. And for me, like, I have less than 1,000 subscribers. I'm like nobody on this platform. But I had videos demonetized that were talking about Yeti cups. And shit you not. And then to allow, or for YouTube to allow a larger user, which generates more revenue for YouTube, to keep up a video and reach 6.5 million views, it just really seems off to me. And so that's really kind of like what's been bothering me the most. I mean, I can't be bothered by this guy's actions because his parents obviously raised him wrong. So I feel really bad for Logan Paul's parents to know that they failed as parents. They failed to instill their child with empathy and with any kind of emotional intelligence. I mean, you can raise a child and they can be a shithead. But if you can't raise a child that shows empathy, you essentially raised a sociopath. And I'm a father, and my daughter is very young, but she is disciplined because she is disciplined by me, and she will learn right from wrong. And you have to instill those things into your child as a parent. And somewhere his parents fell short. And in this whole process, we're talking, oh, Logan Paul, he made a big mistake and blah blah blah. It's like, well, your parents are the ones actually to blame. 50 million people he reaches through his social media. 50 million. 56% of that is less than 25 years old. So we're dealing with kids. So in the grand scheme of things, parents are to blame for letting their children watch this stuff. It's not suitable content. I want my daughter to grow up and have the ability to think for herself and do these things, but she's going to know what she can't do at a certain age. Like, my daughter will not have a fucking cell phone at 11 years old. She might have one of those ones where you can just call mommy and daddy, but 11-year-old doesn't need a cell phone. And these parents these days, you want to be friends with your kids. You don't want to parent them. And I was raised pretty strict by my father and by my mother. So this is kind of just a rant and a ramble, but this whole thing that's going on, I found out because it was on national news with this Logan Paul thing, and it bothers me really deeply because I just recently lost somebody to what I would consider a mental illness, and my philosophy on life in general is that we're all killing ourselves, not making a valid attempt at doing it, but we don't exercise enough, we smoke too much, we might drink too much, we might be drug users, we might be we might drive our car too fast. That's kind of what I mean by that, is like, that's my philosophy, is that slowly but surely we're all killing ourselves. And so unfortunately for some people, they get into such a deep depression that they really can't pull themselves out of, and they feel like death is the only way out. And it's not. If you're thinking about doing something like that, please, for the love of God, know that it will get better. I lost somebody who was very, very important to me in 2011, and to suicide. He completed suicide. And I have a big tattoo on my left arm, and there's a piece of it in there that's dedicated to him, and it sucks that it's there. And I've lost every year for the last 6 years, I've lost a family member or a friend to some form of depression, whether that be alcohol or drug use. So it's a very real thing to me. And I guess I'm really making this video because it'd be nice to see if, some good came out of this. And I don't really think that anything good will come out of it. Maybe YouTube will wake up and realize that they don't provide an equal platform for people. And I think a lot of small YouTubers see that. It's impossible to grow on this channel unless you're willing to kind of just do some extreme things. And fishing to me is an extreme. Skiing can be extreme, but it's not dangerous to the extent where I'm going to be jumping out of an airplane, pulling a parachute and skiing down a mountain. But I don't know, this has really been bothering me, that this happened and this exists. And so what I would say is that I hope that if you are watching this, I'm assuming most of my viewers, from what I can see from the demographics, are around my age. If you do have kids, don't let your kids watch this guy. I looked at some of his other videos. He's highly disrespectful to other cultures. He's kind of a little bit of a racist. And I don't mean like, I really do mean that. Like, he does some things that are pretty questionable. Not saying that he is, I'm just saying that he does some things that are kind of questionable. And, he's just highly irresponsible. And I know we want to be entertained on this platform. And this video is not entertaining. I guarantee you probably I'll get 60 views on this, but it's just something I kind of really needed to say. YouTube had every chance to fix this on their own, and they didn't. They didn't pull the video. The user pulled the video. That's an issue. I just really hope. I don't know. That's it. I don't think this conversation made any sense. It's just been bothering me. It's really been bothering me. So that's it. Bye.